Okay, we're back playing Minecraft. Probably won't be having that much commentary today. I don't know, but yeah, here to show the update on the garden. It's pretty much done now. I'm now currently working on a new project in the house. I'll show you guys that in a second after I finish this. Okay. Show you the new project though. This is going to be the enchantment room. Um, Currently, I don't know how it's gonna work because the blocks in it's even, and I need it to be odd for me to like fit the crafting table in the middle. I mean, not the crafting table, the enchantment table in the middle. So right now we're on a grind for books. We're on a really big grind for books. Since my librarian is useless, literally useless. Here's another. What else we added? Cow farm. Got the cow farm. Very nice. As you can see, we already have a lot of paper. 18 bookshelves at the moment. I've been grinding really hard. It's been like a really grindy grind. Like this, I got so many wheat, so much wheat. Been grinding sugarcane and leather, and just been a lot of work. But yeah, I plan my next project or my side quest is to do some like additions to this armory, like get a whole bunch of gold armor in here, is what I was thinking. I mean, not gold armor, but like diamond enchanted sets, since I and stuff like that. That's the plan for today. Not that much commentary. I will be listening to a like YouTube videos, like crime and stuff, and documentaries or whatever. I don't think I'm gonna be listening to any music. I also need to fix these furnaces and stuff. But real quick, let me put my clothes in the dryer, and we will get into it. Let's see, where's the best place to sit? I like the garden. The garden is a really nice place to just Mm. Oh, okay, I'm back, y'all. Somebody's watching. People are watching. That's crazy. Hello, everyone. All right. I don't know which grind to start on. I might just continue with the one I was already doing. So, see how many books we can make real quick. Just to let any of y'all new people watching know, like, we're currently working on a secret, like, enchantment table room behind my little entrance here. And right now we're just on the grind for books. And then I still have to do the waterfall outside. Still gotta do the waterfall outside. I forgot about that, but we might just do that as a side quest instead. Oh, hold on, Jay. I gotta open up my chat and doesn't show everything anymore. 3 people watching. This is kind of exciting. Do you want to start hardcore? I'm free today. I don't think we'll get Xavier on it, but this first world isn't gonna be permanent. I would love to play Minecraft today. Unfortunately, though, I still don't have PlayStation Plus, so yeah, that's that. To be honest, but I forgot you could just make books in the inventory like that. Would what? Mhm. Anyways, so easy to get sidetracked, bro. But yeah, I don't know how I'm about to really like build this. Bro. Like, it's gonna. I mean, hey, if you don't mind, I don't want to like take your money. That's your money, dude. Don't want to, you know. Alright, what are we trying to do? Let me go chop some trees since I'm running out of oak. What the hell? Trees. Oh yeah, I got some. Did I get? Wait, I hope I didn't. I swear, I went exploring off camera, and I had found some beehives because I've been wanting wax for candles. And I don't know if I kept the beehive when I broke it. I don't even know if like that even like works. I don't even know if that works. I don't know how bees work. I just know that you can get wax from them, which you can make candles with. I don't understand like the full mechanics of it. I just be really lax with the Minecraft. Hold on. Open up Discord. Oh my gosh. The heck? Bro, move. Holy moly. Just made me destroy my bamboo. But if you want to like if you really don't mind buying it, the PlayStation Plus, like that's cool. I would, cause I do want to play Minecraft with you. I can't lie, like. Let's go hit up the cow farm and rinse and repeat. Oh my gosh. It's like any second now. I feel like they're gonna start killing each other through the cramming. Oh my gosh. I love the new cow. I'm not gonna lie, I like the new cow designs. Like I like how they gave the cows like more looks. I like how they gave like the chicken. Like I like how they gave like all the mobs new looks. I mean I don't like I'm usually like a pretty like nostalgic. Okay. 5 watching the stream right now is crazy. So expect a code in your DMs. Okay. In your okay. Holy moly, dude. Okay. 4 people watching your stream. Oh my gosh, it's booming today. Why is there a skeleton in here? How did bro move? There's like no other way to get leather, bro. And like librarians are completely useless. Like my librarian is so useless. I don't know what to do to refresh his trade. I tried trading with him again. He didn't do anything. So this is what we have to do. This is what we have to do, bro. You're literally. Okay. We are gonna pop your life. Yeah, this hardcore world, I'm so like excited and scared at the same time because like I'm really been like stuck on the heat of just like having to keep inventory and stuff like that. I mean, but we've played Minecraft a few times without having like keep inventory on and stuff like that. So that eases the stress a little bit, but still like hardcore. Oh my god, it's crazy. I think we should be good. I do got looting on my sword, so that does make like the leather gathering process a lot easier, but I want to do like the walls with bookshelves, and then I want to do like a little centerpiece with bookshelves. So I need a lot of leather, and it's gonna take a while. It's really gonna. I feel like this is gonna take a while. I've been at this since like yesterday. Like I finished the garden over here. Like at first on stream we did the chest. We did the storage room, right? We did that on stream, and then we did and then I did this off screen. Really not that much of a difference. Oh yeah, I also found these firefly bushes. Y'all know that. I don't know if y'all know, but I love the firefly bushes so much. They're amazing, honestly. I don't know why. I just like the fireflies a lot. I think my house is too bright sometimes. I feel like I really need to dim it more, but I don't know. I'm keep getting distracted. I'm like so bad at staying on track with things. Like I get distracted very easily. I don't know what that is though. I have yet to be diagnosed with ADHD, but I don't know Did I just throw out? What did I just throw out? I feel like I just threw out something I needed. I hope I didn't throw out sugarcane. I mean, but sugarcane isn't that bad. Sugarcane isn't something I really have to worry about throwing out on accident because I have so I have so much bone meal. I can do the same with this bamboo. I could just throw that out, throw the oak saplings out. I have so much of like materials. Like it's just like I don't need so much. It's literally just me. It's like this world is just for me. So it's even better um, that way too. Um, okay, I think we're just gonna go hit up the sugarcane farm and like spam that. I might need to expand that, not gonna lie. I feel like this isn't enough sugarcane for this, or like, I feel like I need to be doing more for this project. Maybe I'm so far away. Oh. So the water isn't flowing through here, is what you're trying to tell me right now. Okay, let's see. Yo, the copper armor is killing me. The copper like armor and weapons, like I remember when that was just a mod. I remember when that was just like a mod. Now it's like actually in the game, and I feel like they should have been done that. I feel like they should have been added copper armor and weapons when they first introduced copper into the game. Because like for the longest, copper has had like no real reason to be in the game except for like a telescope or um blocks. Like I feel like they took way too long giving copper a real purpose. And now like I don't know, just nobody really cares about copper. Or at least I don't care about copper like as much as like Mojang wants us to, or Microsoft, since I get that. I don't know. I wish water was like I don't even know. Oh my gosh, fancy graphics look so good. It's just like imagine what they could do if they added like more shader packs and like I don't know. Like it looks good, but I feel like it could be better. Like I feel like it could be better. And maybe I don't know if it's like limited. I don't know if like my fancy graphics are limited because I'm still playing on like legacy. Like I've never upgraded my Minecraft seed, like my Minecraft disc. Like I've been playing on the same PlayStation 4 Legacy Edition Minecraft since like 2017. And I don't know, like they gave me free trial versions and there's like more. I think when I play like the free trial version on the PlayStation, like for the PlayStation 5 version of Minecraft, it had more options for the graphics and like RTX and shaders and whatever, but I don't know. I don't know. I just wish with like games that are older and you have the CD of, but they have like an older version, like a newer version, like a newer gen version. Like I wish they would instead, like you know how. Okay, how do I explain this? So like on PlayStation, you can get like two versions. Like if you buy a game or you download a game and it was released on PlayStation 4 and it's also like released on PlayStation 5, you can play like the PlayStation 5 version or the PlayStation 4 version. They give you an option when you buy it. I wish that it worked like that for Minecraft, like especially if you have like the disc. Like if it's the disc, like they just instantly just for free give you the PlayStation 5 version of Minecraft instead of just letting you rot with PlayStation 4 version. It's like I don't mind it. I don't I don't mind it, but at the same time I kind of wish it was that way because it just seems to make more sense to me. But yeah, I'm supposed to be like farming this stuff right now. So don't worry about me moving. I had an internet before around on my PC. For some, you always have, you always be having just like random gift cards around your room for some reason. That's so goofy. I like how like almost like every time you just have like a random gift card somewhere in your room, just waiting and begging to be used. I guess things don't get used from other things. Hey man. I mean, understandably, like I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that for real. Cause like it's like the opposite for me. I guess for my birthday, it's getting used almost immediately. Like I'm already thinking about like in this very moment I'm thinking about like what I want for my birthday and how I just want money for my birthday. Like money, a tattoo. I want money, my tattoo, and LEDs. Like that's like the main thing that I want for my birthday. Not gonna lie. Like money, LEDs, and my tattoo. Like I don't care really for anything else right now. Throwing poison seeds into the wind. Like a poison tree. I have sugarcane in my chest. I feel like I don't. Yeah, I definitely don't. Oh, I do not feel like expanding that. I just finished this place and I'm gonna have to. You know what? Fuck it. We ball chat. We ball chat. We fucking ball. We're just gonna YOLO. I have to probably stop and take a break soon to eat. I have not eaten yet. I'm kind of craving shrimp and noodles. Like, but then I'm gonna have to do the dishes. Like, I don't feel like doing the dishes. Like, and I still have the person that do the dishes in the house. Like, you're telling me I'm the main person who cooks and I'm the main person who cleans. Like, girl, what? It's so lame. Dirt. It's right here. Mm. Yo, PlayStation chat is lagging bad right now. I wonder what I'm gonna do for my birthday. Like, it's coming up. Like, I don't know. I'm just like waiting for my birthday right now. Like, that's like the only thing I've been really looking forward to recently. Like, just my birthday. I'm curious on how it's gonna go, cause like I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get existential, but like life's been so strange recently. I don't know what I'm about to do for my birthday. Like I really have no idea. Standing on my own at a hotel, at an airport bar, hotel bar. I need an infinite water source. I got all this stuff at my house, but not an infinite water source. I like how you can see the like where my garden is, like outside. This is like just popping out through the ground, just like this random patch of moss. I cannot wait for this school year to be over. I cannot wait to get hired Like that's all I want right now. Like somebody just to hire me. I applied to Tropical Smoothie Cafe and Dunkin' Donuts the other day. Like I just want a job. I just want my own money. Like I just want a reason to be out the house more since I don't really go out the house. I don't think I'm really a shut-in. Like I don't go anywhere. It's kind of sad. Like most people my age, like most people I know, they be outside like all day, every day. Me, I just sit inside and play games, or just not even play games. Like I just be bed rotting sometimes, like straight up be bed rotting. Okay, let me just. Okay, I'm done talking. Let's watch this true crime documentary I was watching about this family who didn't know that their kids were dead. They're like getting accused of um well they were using drugs, but they were it was I don't know. Where's my best friend? Where's it out?
Decided it was best to, at last, break the devastating news to the couple that their daughter had died.
When we have a death occurs, we treat every death as if it's a homicide until we can prove otherwise, whether it's someone, old person dying in their bed or what have you. So just for those reasons, we're going to take some pictures, okay? What's that? The little girl's gone. Okay. So we're going to have you stand up. Officer Carrasco is going to remove your handcuffs. We're going to take some pictures, okay? So stand up, too.
He's crying.
She was talking to him. So, Mr. Bynum, here in a while, we're going to have a conversation about that, okay? But I know you're going to need a little time. Okay, you're going to run a lawyer? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, then let's take some pictures, and then we can get you back to the stuff right now, okay?
They would allow Matthew to break the news to music in a private area without cameras. However, as it would turn out, Matthew was too afraid to break the news and saved it for a detective later on.
You guys are free to go. You guys are free to go. You guys can't go back to the house. Back to the house, right? Yeah. So. Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't ask why I have a whole bunch of pufferfish. I don't know why. I've been trading with wandering traders. Like I don't know, they've just been having good trades recently. For me, at least. Like interesting trades.
The phone. You guys come back tomorrow and
What am I trying to do, bro? Like my brain is
The
so.
couple would roam free following this news, but without a home, they would live out on the streets for the night. Detectives, on the other hand,
just
had
really
a
looks
tough
nice to me,
question
didn't
to answer. What could have possibly caused all of this to happen? As of now, nothing makes sense. A child was dead, and an answer had to be found. Fortunately, detectives had a plan to find the answers they were looking for. Remember Thaddeus, the guy on the scene who called 911? Thaddeus was the only person with the family the night prior, and seemingly the only coherent one out of the group. If anyone could explain what had happened, it would be him. With this, he would be brought to the station directly after Music and Matthew left, where officers would conduct their first formal interview of the case.
Sorry about that. They'll love it. So, I'm going to read this to you. It's an advice of your rights. It's a message of detention, okay? Yeah, considering the matter at hand. Yeah.
The detective would go on to read Thaddeus his rights. It's important to know that detectives do consider Thaddeus a potential suspect. The goal of this interview is not only to determine whether or not Music and Matthew are guilty, but if Thaddeus could have played a role in Zachy Line's death.
I saw that you were the 911 caller. Yeah, before we get into that, let's start in the morning. So, how did the morning start? I don't know if you saw the red van there or not with the dog over there barking. That's where I'm trying to convert that. I've noticed something That's where I was sleeping. I woke up and I thought I heard the kids playing around outside, and then I realized that someone was yelling out from inside the tiny house, and I didn't know why. So I got out of the way. I went in my back. There was vehicles that was kind of laying near music, like almost on top of Zaki or Bill. So that's what I decided to call Megan. So let's just kind of backtrack a little bit. So you heard music yelling. So you hear that. You walk to the door. You go to the door and you open the door and you see Matt, you said Zaki, and music laying on. Well, that was on the bed. Zaki was kind of half on, half off, and music was not on the bed at all.
So far, Thaddeus's recollection of events is accurate to what officers observed when they got onto the scene. He would go on to say that Music and Matthew don't consume or smoke any kind of drug other than marijuana. We know this is a lie, as Music herself admitted to taking amphetamine the day prior, meaning Thaddeus's statements need to be taken with a grain of salt. However, none of this would matter, as the detective would ask a single question that, quite literally, would change the trajectory of the entire case.
How did they get the house? It's a propane heater on the wall, yeah. But last night, a few nights ago, the propane ran out, and they had taken it off to go get propane, but never got it to the propane pit. Did they ever start fires in the house? No. They don't start fires in the house. They go and I thought you saw the coals in the bathtub. Yeah. So that was where they went and they burned wood and brought it in once it was cold and no smoke left. Yeah, because that's what I thought I called out. And well, maybe we could be looking at carbon monoxide here too. I don't think it would have been because last night, to heat it, but it's probably not like.
Despite what Thaddeus claims, this theory makes a lot of sense. If the family used coal to keep the house warm, the fumes could be potentially deadly. Burning coal releases carbon monoxide, a colorless, odorless gas that can cause poisoning. Inhalation of carbon monoxide prevents oxygen from binding to hemoglobin in the blood, leading to oxygen deprivation in tissues and organs. This can cause headache, dizziness, nausea, confusion, and in severe cases, loss of consciousness and death. The exact symptoms of everyone inside the home. If the trailer was fully sealed, meaning no windows or doors were open, then this could certainly have been what killed Zaculine. This is something officers would investigate later on in the night, but for now, this is just a theory, and the detective still needs to try and determine whether or not Thaddeus is lying about Matthew and Music's drug use, or if something even more sinister had taken place. To do this, he decides to relay the significance of this case to Thaddeus by letting him know that Zaculine had passed away.
Oh, yeah. You might know that. He's gone. That's why all of this and that. Yeah. Because you need to figure out how in the heck this even came to be. Yeah. Okay. So, I know last time you talked a lot about things, the right thing and this and that. Yeah. I mean, that situation that you're in, definitely a good time to do that, right? Right. I can't even think of a situation where it would be more important to know what's going on than right now. I'm not the kind of cop that likes to get people caught up. That's not why I do this. That's not why I'm here. Right now, seeing her covered up, seeing her afterwards. Like, I'm alive. Like it knocked me down. I cried for a good long while. I saw you walking away from the ambulance crying. Yeah, I didn't know why. Yeah, I got a lot worse after that. Right now, my job is to do right by Jackie.
I don't know what I'm about to name this cat.
I understand what's going on. I mean, and like I said, sometimes things happen. Sometimes people kill other people on purpose. Yeah. Sometimes it's accidental or things go too far. There's a million reasons why something could happen when it comes to be, right? And sometimes there's little details of things that happen that end up meaning a lot down the road. Like you could be like, well, I noticed this, or I did see that, or I overheard whatever, or I had this feeling, or something that smelled right and how something, right? So sometimes those things can lead to having a greater understanding. So is there anything of that nature regarding anyone that was there at any time that could have led to that?
Oh my god, bro. Fuck.
I only ever heard music and Matt argue, but it was usually when Matt was super tired and stayed up all night gathering wood and stuff. And then the truck would break down or something would go wrong and he didn't. Then it's common for that to happen, but it was never around the kids.
Oh my gosh, it's okay. Well, I have no idea what I'm doing
Anything
right
that
now,
stands
guys.
out to you
I really don't know
about what happened
I'm doing.
that could explain what's going on here?
This is hurting my soul, bro.
Oh, I mean,
I'm really
what stood out was that he
about
played
these
how pale it was, or that's what I call it.
pickaxe just to slowly mine it.
It seems clear that Thaddeus genuinely doesn't think Music and Matthew had any intentions to hurt their daughter, and if they had taken drugs that night, he wasn't aware of it. The mystery of what happened is still as confusing as ever, and the only possible
The reason why
cause
I'm
officers
not
could think
digging out
of
more to like
was the burning
make it
pole.
uneven is
So
because
with this in mind, they would report back to the trailer later that night to investigate this
that's really
possibility.
Reporting for us?
Yep.
So I'm sure they went over this several times with you, but boy was somewhere in this region. Dad was laying here, decedent here, and the mom off to the side. And then when Thaddeus came in, he saw them here. She was super pale. For some reason, moved him to this chair, and then came back. And then that's when he started calling 911. Girl could have gone sick. I mean, living like this, gets a little bit of a cold or something, and there you go. She had any kind of immunocompromise. Here. But they said that she got sick and threw up. The mom was like, I've done a lot of drugs in my life, so that I occasionally do, but I don't have nothing like that, and I've never felt like I did last night ever in my life.
It seemed like the case was quite clear at this point. The carbon monoxide poisoning was too much for Zaculine's body to handle, and she passed. All they had to do was find a way to factually prove that there were high levels of carbon monoxide in the trailer, and their case would be closed. A post-mortem toxicology analysis would be conducted on Zaculine specifically designed to identify carboxyhemoglobin saturation. Normal carboxyhemoglobin levels are generally up to 3.5% in non-smokers and up to 8% in smokers. When Zaculine's result came back, it showed a 70% saturation. It was far too much to survive. The coal fumes had killed her. The next day, detectives would bring back both Music and Matthew to the station. Matthew insisted on only speaking if he had an attorney present, but Music agreed to sit down for a conversation. The detective wants to determine a few specific things during this interrogation. Did Music or Matthew know that heating their home with the hot coal ash was extremely dangerous, yet continue to do it? And ultimately, were they aware that their daughter had passed and tried to go without calling 911?
So like I said, you can vote this anytime you want, right? Like the deputy told you, I'm Detective Orozco. You can just call me Randy. That's fine. So my job is to figure out what happened, and you are someone that can give me information that I obviously wasn't there for.
Yes.
So I'm playing a little bit of catch-up.
I do know, but I have not imbibed any.
Okay, so just to be clear with you, Thank you. I
I
appreciate
do
that.
not use them regularly. It was just kind of like I wasn't feeling good. Doesn't matter. That's all just excuses. But anyways, I had not used any past like noon 30 at the very latest. And there was nothing. There was nothing that she could get in the room. The room is extremely messy, and that is true. And we're working on it. We don't have a vehicle right now to even take it to the dump. So it's really hard. It is hard. And we had a friend that was letting us use their truck. Do dump trucks and stuff.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do dump trucks and stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been not recently, but like recently, I've just been. I've done a lot of drugs throughout my life, though. My name is music. My parents named me music, that's my life. I grew up in. But I've never felt like I did last night. It was unreal. Like I couldn't hold myself up. My daughter, my son couldn't hold themselves up. I had no idea what was going on. I just wanted us to get some sleep, and I thought that would help. And I don't know what it was.
It seems odd that all music feels the need to explain is her chronic drug use, and that she doesn't think it had anything to do with their sickness. The detective would later state that he thought music had known their daughter was dead even prior to the officers arriving at their house, which is why she felt the need to immediately cover her tracks.
That was not like anything I've ever experienced.
Okay, that's extremely weird, right?
Yeah.
Just like that, stuff like that doesn't happen.
I don't have any idea what happened, but I want to know what was in my system, and I want to know how it got to my kid's system, because they did not get it. I'm telling you. And an investigation will have to be done.
I'm telling you, that motherfucker right there is not real.
I know that. And so if that's in my system, and if that's in my little girl's system, somebody put it there. Sorry, excuse my language, but I
can
do not
speak whatever you want. You're going through some right now. Straight up.
I want to speak eloquently because I don't want to
Be misconstrued.
I don't want to be misconstrued. I know that a lot of people come in here lying about what they do, and I am not here to lie about what I do. I'm here to figure out what happened to my children, because I just want to know that
I don't like it, but it's gonna have to do. I'm supposed to come in here and fix this stuff anyways, like revamp it anyways. Everything might get a revamp, not gonna lie. My trading hall might get a revamp. Oh my god,
Like, if they had cold or whatever you were bringing there?
yeah, it was cold. They were cold.
I only put him in there because there was a creeper in there. He followed me in there when there was a creeper in there too. Luckily though, the creeper exploded, but nothing broke, which kind of surprised me. I was like, whoa.
We still leave intentions because the kids were a while back, like when we first moved in. This is over a year ago. My son was waking up, throwing up, and we discovered this because we had all the windows shut with the propane heater on, so it wasn't ventilating properly. So we started leaving the windows just cracked, and all the throwing up stuff.
Likely due to hallucinations and delusions caused by amphetamine, they forgot to open their windows, neglectfully sealing their daughter's fate.
Okay, that was my initial thought. Like, everyone in the house, like, you guys, from what we were told at the time, like, people
Okay.
that aren't really good at having
This,
a computer inside the house or either bringing
I think this is where I'm gonna put it at. Everything's like off center. Cause it's like, it's even, but we're gonna have to do it. We're just gonna have to do what we have to do.
Yeah, progressively more serious until that's solved.
There should have been at least a window in the house.
It was very important that the detective didn't reveal that they already knew Zachy Line's death was due to carbon monoxide poisoning, as it would have allowed music to start making new stories and trying to clear her name, as she had done at the start of the interrogation. Since he left Zachy Line's cause of death hidden from music, she was more than happy to give up all of that information.
Died? Right? That's your son's name? Died? I checked on him at the hospital when I saw you. So from what they're thinking at that time, being searching, he looks like he has a touch of pneumonia.
Okay.
Okay, but I mean otherwise he seems pretty okay. They're treating them, they're gonna do what doctors do.
Yeah.
Right, and checking for all sorts of stuff.
Freak are you doing in the sheep pen, bro? Like, dude, it looks so packed.
But we are going to look into it as deeply as we possibly can. Try to get a better answer for what happened.
The detective would write down his thoughts during this very moment, as the infamous Adami was told about her daughter's passing. She appeared to attempt to be shocked, and also cried, but no tears came out. She would stop and stare for brief moments at a time, which could have been either shock or theatrics. Emotional response did not appear to be genuine. The detective had gotten everything he needed. For the rest of the interrogation, Music would recount how she couldn't move when she woke up, and everything that had happened the previous day. They would roam free for over 2 months following the death, but would finally be arrested after a case was built up, showing the Tuesday extensive past of child neglect, including poor living conditions and a lack of supervision. That he would be charged with intentional abuse of a child resulting in abandonment of a child. Music was charged with intentional abuse of a child resulting in abuse and events. As of December 2024, their trial is still ongoing. If found guilty, the two will likely be facing life in prison.
It's crazy. What other ones do they got?
Kodak Black.
My name Kodak Black.
When you see me, I'm white.
And how come?
Kodak Black, but I might fuck your white wife.
Kodak Black.
My name Kodak Black. When you see me, I'm white. My name Kodak Black. And I might fuck your white. Hope Kodak Black is okay, bro. After seeing all them clips of him like eating chicken in the middle of the road, like obviously strung out, like that, like when he was on Kai's stream, like strung out, like I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of messed up to see. Like that's kind of sad. Like he's not a great person, but still, I don't know. Like a lot of rappers have been like just tweaking. Like there's that clip of Lil Nas X like walking out in the middle of the night with like only his underwear on, talking about a party. I thought that was kind of crazy too. Like I'm worried. I'm worried for everybody right now. Like, is everybody okay at home? Like, is everything okay? Cause I don't know. Everybody just doing shit or going through shit. Like Blueface in jail. I don't know if those clips. I don't even know if those pictures are real. Cause I heard rumors that the Blueface jail pictures were AI. Honestly, like I don't know what to believe anymore, bro. I really don't know what to believe. Like, so much going on in the world, and like I don't even want to get like I want to talk about it, but it's just like I don't even like if I talk about it, I'm gonna start spiraling, lose my mind, bro. Like it's actually like we're in a very like concerning time. Like this is very like trying times for like the world as a whole. Like they don't push all the good news, and I can admit that, but there's so many bad news like all around the world, and it's like it's hard to ignore that. It's really hard to ignore that. I feel like I should move the sheep somewhere else, or just get rid of the sheep altogether, because the sheep are like I don't even know why the sheep are here for real. Like, why do I have a sheep pen? Did I just want a sheep pen? I was like, did I make the sheep pen just to have a sheep pen? Because like I don't need a wolf or anything. I think I'm just gonna lead them off somewhere because I feel like soon, like one day, I'm gonna be breeding the cows and like there's just gonna be like entity cramming. They're gonna start dying. I don't know. They look pretty tight. It looks really tight in there. Okay, I'm just gonna kill off the sheep. I can get some new sheep. It doesn't matter. Give these guys more space. Be easier to keep track of who's who. Anyways, look at how they're pushing up against each other. I mean, they got some space, but it's definitely not what the sheep had. And the sheep are just like, there's barely any sheep. Ooh. What? Oh, he's gone. Freedom, he's not dying. I'm gonna let him run. He ran. It's good for him. I don't blame him. Or is he stuck in the block? He's stuck in the block. Oh no, that's just some blocks. Whatever. Well, somebody escaped. I know that for a fact. Oh, nope, no, he just walked right back into the pen. Come on. Nope, you chose this life. Oh, never mind. Probably should have pushed him. You know, if they choose this life, they choose this life. Close that door. You walk out here, you're dying. If you're a grown adult and you walk out here, you're dying. You know that. Don't explode. I thought he was gonna explode, bro. That was kind of scary. It's like after a while, you stop caring about the creepers exploding in your face. You just care more about, or like the creepers killing you, exploding in your face. But now it's just like you're worried about the creepers exploding because they're gonna destroy your face. That's what I'm worried about. I don't even care about all that other hullabaloo, bro. I just more worried about my base. What else can I put in this chest? I don't. There's so much shit in here. I have so much meat, bro. I'm never gonna need to bake, cook, trade for food ever again. Is that a fucking chicken? Interesting, bro. Okay, let's tighten up, bro. Let's tighten up. Let's get back on the main goal. The main goal. I can stay as long as by myself. But I need more. Should I just start building? Or should I build a little more? I don't even know anymore. My phone out. I need something. I need background noise. I don't feel like talking for real. There's nothing to talk about.
Wait, did you know Marvel movies hide details so tiny you'd literally need a microscope to spot them? Let's dive into a few you probably missed. Detail 1, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the original. Everyone calls him the strongest Spider-Man for one reason. He's the only one who shoots webs from inside his body. No tech, no gadgets,
Say
pure
it again.
biology. But here's the crazy part. His suit covers every inch of skin. No openings at all. So how do the webs even come out? Go back to the very first movie. When Peter saves MJ, look closely at his wrist. There's a tiny white opening, like a straw, built right into the suit. That's how the webs shoot. And it's the only time this detail is shown in the entire trilogy.
Interesting.
Avengers Endgame. Remember when Nebula and Rhodey go back to the Power Stone? That stone isn't just lying there. It's wrapped in this freezing energy field. Nebula reaches for it, and her cybernetic arm literally burns red, leaving scorch marks. Later, as Nebula infiltrates the Avengers, she covers her arm with a steel band to hide the fact that her arm doesn't have those burn marks. If she hadn't done that, they would have spotted her instantly. One tiny detail sets up the entire final battle. Detail 3, No Way Home. After Aunt May dies, Tom Holland's Spider-Man completely loses it. Rage takes over, and he's seconds away from killing Green Goblin. But Toby's Spider-Man stops him. Why? Because Toby's been there. In his first movie, he let vengeance...
Bro, what the fuck? That's literally... I'm pretty sure everybody knows most of this shit, bro. Let's look at disturbing internet media. Where would this even go? Miscellaneous. Got some Bad Omen. I should run a raid today when I'm bored, I guess. Or should I try and find a trial? What do you have to do to find a trial? I gotta get a cartographer for that, right? I might do that today too. I might try and do that. I don't know. Or I might do it as like a refresher, like a palate cleanser.
There's always something new popping up on feeds. But lurking under the funny clips and viral trends are videos that feel different. Videos that aren't weird, but deeply disturbing. I'm talking about government-made safety films that traumatize kids for life.
I'd rather go
Imagery that feels wrong on every level,
use
and
from my
strange
stash.
videos that nobody can quite explain. These aren't the kinds of things you stumble upon while scrolling on your For You page. These are the dark corners of media that most people wish they never found. And that's the side of the internet we're exploring today, some disturbing internet media. And before we dive in, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. It helps a lot. Let's begin. Apaches. When you were younger, you probably remember sitting through those safety videos in school, whether it was for escaping fire or the infamous DARE lectures for those from the U.S. These lessons were forced into young children's minds in hopes of saving them from potential harm. Usually, the government agency or whoever is behind the production of these videos tries to keep it child-friendly, obviously. But apparently, the British government, back in the 70s, didn't think this was working very well. Apaches is a British public information film produced for farm safety awareness by the Central Office of Information for the Health and Safety Executive, a body responsible for ensuring workplace health. The total runtime is around 26 minutes, and real school children were recruited to act in it. And directed by John Mackenzie and Neville Smith as a screenwriter. Phil Mayhew was the cinematographer, also well known for his collaborations with John Mackenzie, especially in The Long Good Friday. He also worked on major films like Casino Royale and GoldenEye later on in his career.
Okay, why don't you say GoldenEye first? I don't know any of those fucking films.
It does seem like a very niche topic for a film that was to be distributed in very wide areas. In those days, it was common for young people to work on farms, whether as a side hustle or just for their family. So farm safety was very important. Instead of boring old lectures and teachers preaching to students who obviously weren't listening, Neville decided to try something different. The film starts out with 6 children: Danny, Kim, Sharon, Michael, Tom, and Robert. They are playing a game called Apaches, where they pretend to be Native American warriors, complete with war cries and weapons. The leader is Danny, who is also the film's main narrator. They roam around a working farm where each agricultural hazard, like the tractors, toxic chemicals, and slurry pits, became part of the children's fantasy: the enemy camp, firewater, and barricades. So, they are aware that it is dangerous, but they have a childlike, carefree attitude towards them. There are adults in the background, but they are usually busy with their work and don't see the children. What follows is some Final Destination-like series of deaths, far too gruesome to be shown to children. There is no warning or build-up to each one, making it especially horrific. And remember, this is made for children. Very early into the film, Kim starts climbing into a tractor while the others keep playing, forgetting about her. She gets dangerously close to the moving parts and is crushed by the moving tractor. Thankfully, they don't actually show this, but her name tag isn't there the next day at school, so the audience can assume it. One of the most disturbing deaths is Tom's, who is playing around a slurry pit, which is a mixture of animal waste and organic matter and water, later used as a fertilizer for the farm. Tom stumbles and,
falls into the pit, and he is shown slowly sinking into the toxic sludge. The next to be shown is Sharon, who decides to drink from a random bottle, lying around thinking it's alcohol, when in reality, it's some toxic farming chemical. They don't show her actually drinking it, but we can hear a scream in the background immediately after. Robert and Michael, Danny's cousin, who is a little daft or has some kind of learning disability, are playing together around a massive steel farm gate. In a moment of carelessness, Michael pushes the gate, causing it to fall on Robert. We can then see his lifeless body.
Oh my god. Yo, YouTube ads are so terrible now.
Meanwhile, the group's leader, Danny, is narrating all of this and is part of the final death. In his enthusiasm and confidence, he tries to drive a tractor, but obviously he doesn't know how to, and he rolls it into a ditch, calmly narrating his own death. As the film comes to a close, there is a scene where it shows children setting up a party. It is revealed that it is actually Danny's funeral, surrounded by empty chairs where the children who tragically passed away in the horrific farm accidents were supposed to be. The sobering end credits show a list of real names of children who died in farm accidents just like the ones in the film, leading to an educational message about the importance of farm safety. This is no children's movie, which are usually playful and fantasy-like. It had an important message, and it wanted to drive home that important message into the children with its absolutely brutal clarity, making it extremely memorable. The movie never shifts focus from the children. The adults remain in the background, and it starts completely. No setup or foreshadowing at all. The public release obviously generated a lot of controversy. The immediate reaction was shock. People were not expecting the rawness of it. Some found it too grim and disturbing in a time when most safety campaigns were focused on lighthearted messages. Whatever they thought, it was clear that it left a long-lasting impression on those who watched it. Teachers had to follow up with discussions because of how heavy it was. It was shown extensively in major TV stations across the UK and also shown in primary schools. It was actually given a PG rating despite the deaths. And just remember, this was made to show to children. Absolutely insane. And before we move on to the rest of this, I have to be honest. I had to cut a lot of clips and censor a lot of this video for YouTube's guidelines. So, I'm opening up a Patreon. If you'd like to see uncensored and ad-free content, bi-weekly scary stories, weekly Q&As, your name in the video credits, and early access, please subscribe to the new Patreon. All just for $5, as much as a coffee for all that I just listed, a ton of content, and you'll get, uncensored content, so you can see videos like these, but not worry about the censoring, and get all of the extra amazing perks. So please look at the pinned comment, look at the description, join my Patreon for just $5. I mean, it's a ton of content for a low, low price. So please join me on Patreon. I'd love to see you there. Anyways, let's get back to it. Heaven's Gate exit statements. Along with the rise of the New Age movement in the 1970s, many cults also sprung up based on the hippies movement and secularization outside of mainstream religions, offering an alternative form of spirituality. Cults are defined by their extreme ideology, and in this case, of Heaven's Gate, members believed that they could transform themselves into immortal extraterrestrial beings, and then they would go up to heaven, also known as the evolutionary level above human, by believers. They thought that the body was just a vessel for their soul, and on death, their consciousness would be transferred to their brand new bodies. Founded by Marshall Applewhite, former soldier and son of a minister, and Bonnie Nettles, a married nurse, the two, who met at a hospital, believed that they had been chosen to fulfill biblical prophecies and been given higher-level minds than others. Basically, like every other cult member ever, they were incredibly narcissistic, and they even wrote a pamphlet claiming that Jesus had been reincarnated as a Texan, which was supposed to be Applewhite. In Revelation, a book in the Bible, there is a mention of two witnesses in one of the passages. Specifically, chapter 11, verse 4. They have the power to destroy their enemies, control weather, and cause plagues too if the previous wasn't enough. They would be defeated by the beast from the abyss, but rise again to ascend to heaven after 3.5 days. If you couldn't guess by now, Applewhite and Nettles believed they were the two. As I said, very humble leaders. Their first follower was a mother who abandoned her children to join them, which should really tell you about the kind of people they attracted. She did leave after a month, though, apparently seeing some sense. Eventually, the group grew and went off-grid. Sleeping in tents and begging on the street for money, they toured the United States in this way, recruiting members along the way until April of 1976, when they became reclusive and started enforcing rules such as a ban of activity and drugs. For a couple decades, the cult expanded, and in the dawn of the internet, it used a website to recruit followers again in the early 1990s. Though it may seem silly to us now, these people really did believe in their theories and their leaders and were willing to go to any length to take their souls to another level of existence, as they believed. The events take a much darker turn now. In October 1996, they rented a mansion in Santa Fe, California. The next year, on March 19th through the 20th, 1997, the group planned out a mass S-word as they believed that was the only way to evacuate this earth.
Good news. The market's swinging back to buyers, which means that dream home won't be there forever. Don't let some...
The comet Hale-Bopp, approaching the Earth at its closest point in the orbit, was supposedly the sign they were looking for. Apparently, a UFO was trailing the comet, which would take their souls to the next level before the closure of Heaven's Gate. In a video titled Doe's Final Exit, Applewhite delivers this lecture and urges other people to follow quickly. In another video, most of his members, a group of 39 people, videotaped a farewell message.
This is the answer to everything. You know, these flesh vehicles, I mean, if you use the analogy of a car, and, you know, people may keep their cars for a long time before they finally wear out and they clunk out, and they die on them, and, you know, they go and get another car. Or some people, they say, well, you know, here's a newer model, it's much nicer, and this one, you know, doesn't quite perform the way I could, and I'd like to move into this new car. Get rid of the old one, get a new one. I mean, that's about all we're talking about. It's not a big deal.
One woman was discussing her discussion to follow Applewhite. Maybe they're crazy for all I know, but I don't have any choice but to go for it. Because I've been on this planet for 31 years, and there's nothing here for me. And they were saying to the person I was with that they felt the last, final ingredient would be for the vehicles to be found dead. You know, what humans call dead. And so I said, great. You know, if that's what it takes, that's better than being around here with absolutely nothing to do. Several others spoke about why they were excited to be leaving and actually were thankful to Applewhite for showing them the path.
If people would just know that we're not forced into this in any way, it's, you know, our own choosing to do it. And I'm really happy that I made this choice. I mean, I know there was people in the world who thought that I had completely lost my marbles. They're not right.
These two tapes were sent to a Michigan minister, Rick Strawcutter. Attached to it was a message. By the time you receive this, we'll be gone. Several dozen of us. We came from the level above human in distant space, and we have now exited the bodies that we were wearing for our earthly task, to return to the world whence we came. Task completed. The distant space we refer to is what your literature would call the kingdom of heaven, or kingdom of God. The S-words were planned methodically, with the cult split into 3 groups, with each group cleaning up the previous before them by ingesting a lethal mix of drugs and alcohol and covering their heads with a plastic bag. These exit statements remain some of the most chilling videos ever recorded, not only because of the deeply disturbing beliefs they held, but the confidence and conviction with which they spoke. Operation Wandering Soul, Ghost Tape number 10. The U.S. Army tried a lot of different things during the Vietnam War to get the Vietnamese to give up. One of the more creative, or rather creepier ways, was Operation Wandering Soul. This psychological warfare campaign was based on exploiting Vietnamese cultural beliefs, Traditionally, they believe that if a person dies away from and does not get a proper funeral, their spirit becomes a wandering soul, unable to find peace and forever wander the earth in torment. This originates from a story about a young Buddhist boy named Kien Mokkien, who was born in India. He was one of the closest 10 disciples of Buddha and reached enlightenment at an early age. Unfortunately, his mother was evil, so was sentenced to eternal pain and torment from demons and ghosts. Kien tried to send food to his mother, but the demons would not let him. When he asked for help from Buddha, Buddha told him to perform a special ceremony so that his mother's sins would be pardoned. From this legend grew the widespread belief in Vietnam that if proper burial rites were not performed, a soul could become trapped as a wandering ghost, doomed to suffer relentlessly in the afterlife. So the U.S. military tried to capitalize on this by making fake recordings intended to scare the Viet Cong soldiers into deserting their army. Conducted by the U.S. Army 6th Battalion, it was based on earlier psychological operations, but was unique in that it used local beliefs to try and instill fear into them. Then, Vietnamese soldiers were supposed to desert or surrender so that they wouldn't become like those poor souls damned to eternity in torture. Previously, they used to drop leaflets in North Vietnam to try and use this. The contents of one such leaflet are, "Faithful to the ancestral traditions. The people of South Vietnam are praying for the dead on the day or pardon for the dead. As we sadly turn our thoughts toward the withering north, no sticks were burned on Vu Lan Day, and no comfort was given to the wandering souls." How many wandering souls need our prayers and your prayers on this day of pardon for the dead? Comrades, demand that the Communist Party stop its war of aggression in the South so that no more innocent souls have to join the already great amount of innocent souls now wandering in this war-torn country of the South. Later on, they tried a new tactic. In combination with South Vietnamese actors, engineers spent weeks recording these messages. A deceased Viet Cong soldier pleads with his fellow men to go home and give up, saying, "My friends, I've come back to let you know that I am dead. I am dead, and don't end up like me. Go home, friends, before it's too late," with screams and moans edited into the background, which is just crazy that, the U.S. Army actually used this back in the war. The only surviving tape is known as Ghost Tape Number 10. This one is especially creepy, featuring Buddhist funeral music, echoing moans, and a child crying in the background saying, "Daddy, come home." Meanwhile, a disembodied voice repeats, "My body is gone. I am dead. I am in." And that is just so creepy to me. Just reading that gives me goosebumps. Imagine you're, a Vietnamese soldier and you hear this.
Running your business on the go just got easier with the QuickBooks mobile app. Be prepared for tax time. QuickBooks users have seen up to $6,000 in tax deductions. Even get help from automatic mileage tracking. Download the app today.
Nice try, but remember, O for out.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the candy.
How terrifying would that be? Funeral dirges, which are basically mournful hymns showing grief for the dead, Buddhist chanting and gongs are all added throughout to maximize the unease for the soldiers. Helicopters would carry these recordings and play it over loudspeakers, or on river patrol boats, or soldiers would carry them along the borders of known Vietnamese soldier camps. This would all happen at night, so that they could disrupt their rest and heighten the fear, especially in the dark. Even if some soldiers realized what was going on, they couldn't shoot it down, as that would have revealed their hidden positions. Some helicopters even had mini guns on them, so they could quickly shoot down any enemy fire. Several Vietnamese soldiers also remember hearing recordings of tiger roars, causing over 150 soldiers to evacuate the hill they were camping on, so you can understand how realistic it felt to them. The PSYOP division regarded this operation as at least a partial success, believing that it did demoralize the enemy at least a little. However, there was no long-term data on its actual effectiveness, as there was no concrete rates, etc. It was phased out in 1970 as the Vietnamese soldiers began to release the fake recordings, and it worked less and less. Furthermore, South Vietnamese allies were allegedly told to be out of earshot of these recordings, as these affected them as well. One lieutenant, Jerry Valentine, who was a pilot, says this about the tape. The tapes are best. We've got one we call the Wandering Soul tape. It lasts about 4 minutes. It starts with Buddhist funeral music, then this spooky wailing voice. Then a little child is crying. The child is crying for its father. Then a Vietnamese woman comes on and tells how her husband was killed fighting for the Viet Cong. And all the time, this eerie background voice, wailing about death. It's real beauty, guaranteed to raise ground fire anywhere. It even sends chills down my spine. It's so effective, they only let us use it on extreme occasions. This kind of psychological weaponization was not exclusive to the U.S. Army either. During the Angolan Civil War, the South African soldiers would drop leaflets on the Marxist guerrilla enemy, and as one soldier recalls, when I was in the army in Southwest Africa and Angola in the 1970s, the Air Force used to drop leaflets on the guerrillas that said, "You will be killed and a hyena will eat your bones." It was culturally upsetting to the Avambos, who made up most of the SWAPO ranks. They believed that if their bones are buried by the family, they will become honored ancestors. But to have their bones eaten by a hyena meant they would go to their version. And even though that example doesn't really tie into the Vietnam one we just went deep into, it just shows that people have done this for a long time. And it's super disturbing. But if you'd like to see a video kind of like warfare tactics, disturbing warfare tactics or something like that, I think it'd be an entertaining video and worth researching into, because there's a lot of crazy stuff that has been done during wartime. So let me know if you'd like to see a video like that in the future. But Ghost Tape number 10 is creepy as hell, and it's insane how it's used in actual war. The Connet Project. Since the first wars, people needed a way to communicate secretly, whether to discuss strategy and pass along valuable information. People have employed a variety of methods. One such way was number stations, first reported to be used in World War I. A number station is basically a shortwave radio station where spies send formatted numbers back to their home country. One of the most famous examples is Morse code, used heavily during the World Wars. They were most used during the Cold War era from 1960 to 1990, when the need became extremely crucial for the spies behind enemy lines. They usually follow a set pattern: a signal, like a music or a tone, then a call sign to identify the sender, then groups of 5-digit numbers that can be converted to human language by the receiver listening. Many stations would broadcast on multiple frequencies simultaneously to make sure the message reached, and then attach a speech synthesizer such as the East German Stasi machine, which could generate a spoken message from either numbers or Morse code. Really complicated stuff, but interesting. One of the most famous cases is the Cuban 5 case, where members of a spy ring were convicted of using number stations to receive coded instructions from Cuban intelligence. In another case, a senior U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency analyst was arrested and convicted of spying for Cuba too, again, receiving instructions through shortwave transmissions from Cuba. Government agencies don't exactly like to reveal what they're doing in these number stations, but they don't deny their existence. For example, in 1998, the Daily Telegraph asked a spokesperson from the UK Department of Trade and Industry what they were.
Bro, the ads are so bad in this. Like, just mid-video, like mid-explanation of something, just cut to ad.
Are what you suppose they are. People shouldn't be mystified by them. They're not, shall we say, for public consumption. But people were listening, and they knew. Aiken Fernandez, son of Nigerian-born parents, grew up in Brooklyn and moved to London when he was 15 years old. One day, he stumbled across these mysterious broadcasts where tuning into shortwave radio in his cluttered home office in London. So he began systematically recording these number station transmissions starting in December of 1992. Initially, he had no idea what to do with all these recordings he was accumulating, but he was fascinated with all these secret messages and began logging the frequencies, times, and messages for a period of over 5 years. In his own words, you just get submerged. You get immersed in it. There are so many questions, and the only answer is to listen more, because no answers are coming from anywhere else. In 1997, he released the Connet Project under the name of Erdial Discs, containing over 150 recordings spanning over 20 years. It contained not only his recordings, but others from private archives owned by shortwave radio enthusiasts who all contributed to this project. The name comes from a mishearing of the Czech word konek, which literally means end, used frequently at the end of Czech number station transmissions. There was even a video game by the title Signalis, released in 2022, which made extensive use of Connet Project's recordings to introduce an eerie feel to the game. Aiken did release the project under a free music philosophy, which means that it is available for download along with a booklet containing pictures of number station equipment. The entire thing is available to download on the Internet Archive. Of course, nowadays, the messages are encrypted in a far more advanced way. More sophisticated data modulation techniques and different ways of transmitting the data have made it all the harder to crack. They are still used despite the Internet now becoming widely available. Apparently, some nations still like to keep it old school. And even though a lot of you watching right now might not think number stations are too disturbing, I think number stations are just unnerving because they were never meant to be heard by us, civilians, I guess. They weren't made for entertainment, they weren't news, they were just fragments of secret code and for secret wars. I just think it's super, super creepy, especially how they still use them and you can tune into them. I just wonder what it's for, what they talk about. I just think it's creepy how it all goes right under our noses. We never know. They're so comfortable using it that they use it on, almost public radio. It's crazy, and I just wanted to leave that kind of final thought before the next one. But yeah, they're definitely creepy. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. On to the next one. The War Game. The following transcript is from the House of Commons. It is a response to a question on why the TV film War Game was banned. Mr. William Hamilton, West Fife, asked the Secretary of State for the Home Department what representations he made to the British Broadcasting Corporation concerning the civil defense film called The War Game, and why he exerted pressure to prevent its showing to the public. Thursday, 2nd December, 1965. Draft reply. None. The British Broadcasting Corporation has made it clear that their decision not to show the film was not the result of outside pressure of any kind. Notes for supplementaries. 1. Have you or any other minister seen the film? No. 2. Did an officer of the HO see it? Yes, along with representatives of other departments. 3. Did the officials who saw the film express any views as to whether it should be presented? No. 4. Did they make any comments on it? Yes, but not in order to influence in any way the decision of the BBC. 5. Why, then, did the BBC decide not to show it? According to their statement, because it was too horrifying. 6. Did the BBC seek assistance from the government in making of the film? Yes, but we were unable to give it because much of the information asked for raised security considerations. 7. The BBC statement was in the following terms. The BBC has decided that it will not broadcast The War Game, a film on the effects of nuclear war in Britain, produced by Peter Watkins. This is the BBC's own decision. It has been taken after a good deal of thought and discussion,
but not as a result of outside pressure of any kind. When the television service undertook the making of a film on the subject, it recognized the risk that the film might turn out to be to use tactical nuclear weapons. In response, the Soviet Union and East Germany threatened to invade West Berlin.
Paul looks out for you with our all-new service pickup and delivery program. We know your time is valuable, so our expertly trained service ambassadors will...
They do not. The British government is alarmed by this news and declares a state of emergency across the country, handing over the day-to-day administration to a body of regional commissioners. First, they mass evacuate children, mothers, and disabled to safe areas including Kent, which is the very south of England. Homeowners are forced to accommodate these refugees or else face imprisonment. There are no government shelters, and even if they wanted to build some, there was a shortage of construction materials anyway. Rationing is established, and generally, the people prepare for a nuclear attack. They have a maximum of 3-minute warning or a meager 30-second warning if it comes from a submarine. On the 18th of September, the Soviets and East Germans invade West Berlin. NATO starts a counterattack, but it's not much of a barrier. Now in panic mode, America launches nuclear weapons, and the Soviets immediately respond and launch their own. The megaton warhead is headed straight to Kent, right where all the civilians are, completely destroying the whole country. The effects of the nuclear fallout on the people are shown too in macabre detail. A defense worker and a boy's eyeballs melt, while another boy...
Spider-Man has a no shortage of iconic video game appearances. Spider-Man 2, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Web of Shadows, Shattered Dimensions, the PS1 classics. There's virtually no limit to the amount of fun you can have with the webhead on any console you can find. And then there's Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 is famous for being terrible, but there is no but. It is terrible. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not Leisure Suit Larry box office bust or Rogue Warrior.
Suck my balls, my hairy fucking big balls, wrap them around your fucking mouth.
But even then, within the pantheon of Spider-Man games, it is bottom tier, right next to that weird Microsoft Paint looking ass monstrosity. Breaking news. Spider-Man is fucking dead. Our story begins with a montage that sets up the adventure to come by introducing the game's rogues gallery, which is packed with famous villains like Harley Quinn, this guy, really good dancer, world-class sex pervert, Kraven, some dick. Hey, yo, what the fuck? Mysterio, oh, it's that guy from all those other games. Venom! There's Scorpion. Uh-oh, me waking up from a midday nap that lasted 5 hours. And of course, Sandy Cheeks. Now, as you may have noticed, this game includes nearly every villain that the recently released Spider-Man 2 contains, thus making them the same game. Sadly, contrary to what one might expect, Spider-Man 3's cutscenes are not of the same quality as those in Spider-Man 2. Take this scene, for example.
Go get your boss. Tell him he's going down.
With this clip, you can see that while they did get Tobey Maguire to reprise his role, he is just on Ambien the whole time.
What's the magic word? I was thinking please, but whatever.
I'm nearly certain this game isn't trying to be funny, and yet it's funnier than games that try to be funny. It really does have that rogue warrior magic.
Goddamn, tell me, motherfuckers.
James Franco returns to his role as well, and is somehow worse than his co-star, clearly wearing his
I really wish I weren't here right now button.
Harry, please. I didn't kill your dad.
Shut up! I don't want to hear any more of your lies.
You're my best friend, Harry. I don't want to fight you.
Yeah? Then hurry up and die.
Every scene featuring these two award-nominated actors and maniacs has all the personality of a hospital brochure and the collective enthusiasm of an obituary reading. It's like they both just shot up a load of heroin before recording. Now, if we briefly shift from Spider-Man 3 over to its spiritual successor, Spider-Man 2, you will see what a real Spidey game looks like, as every cutscene in this title is flawless, even the less significant ones. Take this simple scene where Miles is doing his homework and receives a call from Whoa, Pete, what are you doing?
Hello, gays. Today we have a list of top 5 Jumpscares. Número 5. Spider-Man Masturbation Jumpscare.
I can't be the only one that saw that, right? Miles answers the call and Spider-Man's just cranking it, hugging his pud for his bud. Whose idea was this?
I need a better video to watch while I do this. Any visual venture pose? Visual venture. Oh, that's wow! Just look at that.
So symbiosis is kind of like a roommate agreement between.
Shut the fuck up. We're gonna
The internet
ignore
has billions of websites. Some leave you with a lot of questions. They contain secret codes, strange countdowns,
obvious
creepy recordings, and more.
like
Today we'll explore the internet's most mysterious websites, starting from the least to the most disturbing. So my goal this year, guys, is to increase our uploads without sacrificing quality. And to do that, we got to keep growing. It would mean the world to me if you subscribed, and I promise to do my very best for you guys and make the best videos I possibly can on Visual Venture, and you, my friend, are awesome. LakeCityQuietPills.com. LakeCityQuietPills.com sounds like a pharmacy website, but it wasn't selling medicine. In fact, people believe this website was a place where hitmen received instructions on who to target. The site belonged to a Reddit user known as Milo. Milo claimed he was a 79-year-old military vet. Most of his Reddit posts were about weapons, explosives, and combat. Then, in May 2009, he made a post promoting his new website, LakeCityQuietPills.com. He described it as an image hosting site. At first, no one cared, but years later, someone finally looked closer. A Redditor clicked the link and noticed something strange. He warned others. Remember that old guy's image host? Go to the root of the site and view the source. People did exactly that. When they checked the site's code, they discovered cryptic messages hidden between the lines of code. They looked like job postings. One read, immediate need, 8 to 10 Chinese or Korean, fluent Korean dialect or accent, details after contract. Another said 4 Italian or Spanish speakers. No Euro, W/W. Must be bondable. Reddit loves a mystery, so users started analyzing every line, trying to figure out what it meant. And the more they read, the darker it seemed. These didn't look like normal jobs. They looked like requests for assassins. It was a wild theory, but here's why people believed it. The site was called Lake City Quiet Pills. There's a real factory in Missouri called Lake City. It's an ammunition plant that manufactures bullets for the U.S. military. Some people thought Quiet Pills was code for bullets, because a bullet is like a pill that makes someone quiet forever. They also interpreted the job listings. W/W in the messages likely meant wet work. and wet work could be slang for assassination. More people shared ideas on what the other abbreviations could mean. Piece by piece, the theory took shape. Redditors became convinced this was a secret job board for hitmen. It seemed like a stretch. Then something happened that made the theory feel more credible. On January 19th, 2010, a military leader was assassinated in Dubai. Around the same time, Redditors found a new message on the website. It read, "Happy New Year, everyone. We're having a birthday party for the old man on the 19th. Party starts at 1500 at the usual. Send your RSVP to Shade. FYI, we're booking a room for 3 days for anyone coming from out of area, and overnight for locals. Come hoist one for Dutch Milo." The date of this party matched the exact day of the hit. The same message also mentioned booking a hotel for 3 days. Interestingly, the military leader was unalived at a hotel. One report described it like this.
A group of assassins tracked the Hamas leader to his room, waited for him to leave to go shopping, snuck into his room and gained access somehow, and waited for the guy to come back, and lastly, took him out.
For Reddit's detectives, this was no coincidence. Weeks later, another message appeared on the site. It showed the final costs for the party that took place on January 19th. Hotel rooms, limo, bus, food, med supplies. They spent nearly $50,000 on hotel rooms for a birthday. For Reddit users, the number looked like a payment for something much darker. As more people investigated, the site began to change. The once readable messages on the site were scrambled into random numbers and letters. And by 2014, LakeCityQuietPills.com went offline completely. Was it really a hitman job board, or was it just a prank? To this day, no one knows for sure. This next website tried to change how we understand the world. Timecube.com. Timecube.com was created to reveal a big secret to the world. The website belonged to a retired electrician named Gene Ray, and Ray believed he uncovered a cosmic secret. According to him, a single day wasn't really 24 hours. Each day was actually 4 separate days happening at once. It's confusing. I know. Ray stated his theory boldly on the site. He called it nature's harmonic simultaneous 4-day time cube. Ray even called himself the wisest man on Earth. He was so confident that he offered $1,000 to anyone who can disprove 4 days in each Earth rotation. Later, he raised the price to $10,000. His website was packed with strange diagrams about 4 races, something he called cubic thinking. It looked like the ramblings of a delusional old man, but not everyone ignored him. In fact, students at MIT invited him to speak. In 2002, Ray showed up at MIT to present his theory of time. Hundreds showed up, but they weren't there to learn. They treated the lecture like a comedy show.
Throughout the event, the crowd of college students was rowdy and loud, cheering often in mock support of Ray.
However, Ray didn't realize they were mocking him. When asked about the experience later, he bragged.
About 500 students from MIT, Harvard, and many other universities around now, and they treat me like Einstein now.
Afterward, he even awarded himself a doctorate of cubism and started calling himself Dr. Gene Ray. Most people treated Ray as a joke, but to one man, Gene Ray was a genius. Around 2005, an 18-year-old student named Richard discovered Timecube.com. He quickly became Gene Ray's most devoted supporter.
Hi, I'm Richard Jancharski, second wisest human. However, it is Dr. Gene Ray, cubic, who is the wisest human on Earth.
For 2 years, Richard defended Ray's theory of time. In fact, he idolized Ray. Then in 2007, Richard bought a plane ticket to Florida to meet his hero. He planned to film a documentary about Ray and his ideas. At first, everything went well. The 2 days they spent together, they talked about Timecube.com. Then they had a misunderstanding. Ray got really mad at Richard, so mad that he publicly denounced him on Ray's website. For Richard, the rejection was devastating. After years of loyalty, his idol turned against him. Richard never really got over it. Watching their story, you realize how much time Richard and Ray spent on theories that made no sense. Richard could have spent those same hours learning about actual history instead of imaginary time cubes, which is exactly what this video game offers. War Thunder, the sponsor of this video, is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. It's an MMO featuring over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships, from armored cars of the 1920s to modern fighter jets and tanks. The vehicles are very well detailed. The graphics are super realistic. Something that's really different about this game is its damage model. If your vehicle or enemy is destroyed, you see this X-ray view where you can see exactly where the shell penetrated and which components are affected, which is honestly something I have never seen before. War Thunder has 3 modes. You have Arcade, which is for fast-paced matches, Realistic mode, which is a bit more realistic. Then you have the mode that is the most authentic to real life, Simulator mode. My friends, join the community of over 95 million players for PvP battles today. And for you military history enthusiasts, this game is made for you. Play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile now by using my link in the pinned comment or description. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months get a massive bonus pack. That includes the Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account only for a limited time. This next website was so mysterious that hackers tried to break into it. Mortis.com. Most websites wanted visitors. Mortis.com was the opposite. They wanted to keep people out. The homepage was plain, just a black screen with one word in white text, Mortis. Mortis means death in Latin. Why would anyone name their website Death? There was also a login box asking for a username and password. But how could anyone sign in if they didn't have an account? And there was no sign up button, no create account link, no way in at all. It was like a locked door with no keyhole. For years, the website just sat there. No updates, no changes, no sign of activity. Then in 2011, someone finally mentioned it on 4chan. Did anyone ever get into Mortis.com? That one question made the site go viral. 4chaners love puzzles, and this one quickly became an obsession. First, hackers tried breaking into Mortis.com. They couldn't. Then they examined the website's source code. What they found was shocking.
Some of the individual files were as large as 39 gigabytes, and the total amount of data being hosted on the website was in the range of terabytes.
No one could figure out why a website with no public features was storing that much data. What was Mortis.com hiding? People tried everything to break in, even brute force applications. But the site was extremely hard to hack into, so they turned to domain records, searching for whoever registered the site. That's when they discovered a name.
A string of clues led some users to assume that the domain was registered under the name Thomas Ling on the 14th of November, 1997.
They began digging into Thomas Ling, hoping to find new ways to unlock the website. But no matter where they looked, the trail went nowhere.
More leads on the Thomas Ling name would lead to empty warehouses in remote regions across the globe.
The mystery seemed unsolvable, and suddenly Thomas Ling himself showed up, and he was mad. Thomas found one of the chat rooms talking about Mortis.com, and he told everyone to leave him and his site alone.
He allegedly demanded that the users stop trying to hack his website, and when pushed for an explanation on Mortis.com, claimed that the website was only used to host his wedding photos on.
Something today. So I want to be the person from my dream. She rather than as if you think you know
Line.
No one believed he was the real Thomas Ling. To prove he was really the man behind the site, Thomas briefly changed the homepage of Mortis.com. Then, just as quickly, he switched it back. That confirmed he was the owner. But it did nothing to explain the. Then, in January 2025, someone figured it out. A Reddit post titled "The Mystery of the Website Mortis.com is Solved" revealed what was really behind the login screen. Mortis.com was a private server for storing pirated movies and large files shared within a small group. The post even included screenshots showing downloads coming directly from the site. After 15 years of theories, the truth was disappointingly simple. Mortis.com wasn't a dark conspiracy. It was just a place where a guy shared movies with his friends. This next website can be summed up in 3 words: a huge disappointment. Zombo.com. Zombo.com's webpage was strange. It had a green background with spinning circles, but the weirdest part was the audio that played in the background.
You can do anything. Zombo.com. Anything at all. Only limit is yourself.
It sounded inspiring, like something incredible was about to happen, but nothing ever did. The voice just repeated the same lines over and over. There were no links, no games, nothing to download. People thought the site was broken. One visitor said they waited for 5 minutes for something to happen, but the site never changed. Then someone noticed a newsletter sign-up link at the bottom of the page. Finally, something to interact with, but they were about to be disappointed. Clicking the link led to a new page with a single line of text. Sorry, this is not working right now. Thanks for your patience. Users realized the site wasn't broken. It was built this way on purpose. So the question became, who created Zombo.com and why? In 2009, people online started digging into the site's history. The first clue came from the site's records.
When looking at the Whois record for Zombo.com, we can see someone by the name of Joshua Levine as the domain register.
Now they had a name, Joshua Levine. The record even listed an address. When people looked it up, it led to an empty bench in a little piece of grass in the middle of some tiny little town. The phone number listed under the address was no better. Every call ended with the line disconnected. The only meaningful clue came from an email Joshua Levine sent in 2001. In it, he explained that a friend of his used the word Zombo to refer to a male zombie, so he used it as the name of the site, but that still didn't explain the point of Zombo.com. Over the years, theories piled up. One person said, I think Zombo.com paraphrases the internet, promises you the earth, but delivers a bit of animation. Another called the site useless because it doesn't do anything except tell you how wonderful it is. Zombo.com is still online today. The circles still spin. The voice still promises you limitless possibilities. It's just a wonderful place where nothing ever happens. If you love conspiracy theories, you'll love this next website, sentimentalcorp.org. In 2012, a man named Randy Prozac launched a website called sentimentalcorp.org. The homepage showed a couple sitting on a couch watching TV. On the screen, the word nothing glowed faintly. The site was anything but nothing. According to Randy, the videos on his site contained sounds that could control minds. To understand why he believed that, you first have to know who Randy was. Before Sentimental Corp, Randy worked with mental health patients in Alberta, Canada. These were people with serious psychological issues. His goal was to find a new way to treat them. That's when he began testing a form of therapy called psychodrama. 3 times a week, Randy invited patients into his home. Behind closed doors, they acted out their deepest fears and darkest impulses like actors on a stage. Randy filmed every session. Soon he had hundreds of hours of disturbing footage. The sessions got more intense than anyone expected. Sometimes it ended in tears. Sometimes it ended in anger. A few times it ended in violence. Eventually, the program collapsed. Authorities ordered all of Randy's tapes destroyed, but Randy reportedly smuggled out the recordings before they could be burned. Those tapes became the foundation of sentimentalcorp.org. By July 2012, Randy launched the website and began uploading footage from the psychodrama sessions. He added a chilling twist.
By playing the psychological audio cassette, you'll be exposed to mind control technology that may cause permanent destruction of cognitive personality.
But instead of scaring people off, the warning only drew in more. There were videos with hypnotic sounds and flashing imagery. Visitors described the content as haunting and addictive. Some said they felt dizzy after watching. Even Randy himself admitted that you would have to be a sort of a magician to navigate the site. Over time, thousands of people stumbled across Sentimental Corp. Online forums filled with theories about the tapes, their purpose, and Randy's claims of mind control. The site still exists today, but many of the psychodrama clips have vanished. No one knows whether Randy removed them himself or something else happened. This next website was One Big Countdown. October 28, 2011.com.
So imagine a bowling ball on a trampoline. That's essentially what the sun does to space-time. Oh!
October 28, 2011.com first appeared in July 2011. The homepage had a heading that read, Deja Vu in Your Dreams. Beneath it was an illustration of a cat. But what really grabbed people's attention was a giant countdown timer. It was set to end on October 28, 2011. No one knew what would happen when the timer hit 0 in October 2011, but they were determined to figure it out. The theories started pouring in, especially on Reddit. Some believed the date marked the end of the world. Others tied it to a religious prophecy. Some felt it was part of a marketing stunt. The theories varied, but everyone agreed something big was coming on October 28th, 2011. But there was something else on the website. Near the bottom of the homepage was a phone number. It wasn't clear whether this number was there from the start or if it was added later. Beside it was a cryptic line, speak to open when it's time. Naturally, people started calling. What they reported back was disturbing. One caller described his experience. Someone answered within 5 rings. No hello, nothing. Just some movement and then a loud beep. And then the person hung up. Another reported hearing something being dragged across the floor, followed by a loud beep. When they called again, someone picked up and whispered, "It's him again." Almost everyone who tried the number described something unsettling. As October 28th, 2011 drew closer, anticipation was building. The countdown was almost at 0, and the people couldn't wait to see what would happen. The day finally arrived, and something did happen.
But when October 28th, 2011 finally came and the countdown hit 0, the site completely vanished, leaving people to this day in utter confusion.
The website went offline, just like that. Even after the site disappeared, people kept trying to decode the mystery.
The website went offline many years ago, and thus people have been left in the dark about whether or not this actually had any real purpose.
Years later, a blogger wrote an article titled, "I think I solved the mystery behind October 28th, 2011.com. The explanation was underwhelming. He claimed the website was just made to freak people out, and the calls were clearly recordings meant to mess with people's heads. Today, typing in October 28th, 2011.com just redirects you to random ads. Up next is another website that made 0 sense. Enrix.angelfire.com. Enrix.angelfire.com described a disease called Enrix. It said Enrix is a disease that can be devastating to an individual and their family members. The site also mentioned another term, Gomex. Gomex is a medical term that's often used by patients suffering from Enrix. But when people Google these diseases, nothing came up.
Enrix and Gomex don't seem to exist. I tried Google searching for these diseases, and I can't find anything about them.
This meant someone built an entire medical website about illnesses that didn't exist. The fake diseases weren't the strangest part. The real mystery was the woman's picture. On the homepage was a photo of a smiling woman dressed like a doctor. Clicking on her face did something strange.
If you click on the picture of the woman, then the face will become slightly distorted. Continue clicking, and it will continue to become even more distorted as all the text on the screen becomes malformed.
With every click, the photo warped further. It looked like the site was falling apart in real time. By the 5th click, a creepy smiley face appeared along with the message. "Please wake up. Thank you for visiting our website." It felt less like a glitch and more like a warning to stop exploring. But that was just the beginning. When people checked out the other pages, they found weird stuff. One page had a large key. Clicking it only sent you back to the homepage. There was also a link to a PDF file buried in the code.
It's a 634-page PDF document, all written in Thai with cartoon characters at some points. Apparently this PDF file is about a mental health hotline clinic that doesn't actually exist.
Then came the strangest clue. A hidden message that read, "The dream is ending, Tyler." Who's Tyler? And why was his name buried in scrambled text? Visitors also found this video hidden on the site. When they pressed play, they saw a woman glitching while reciting numbers. The deeper people dug, the less sense it made. In 2018, a Twitter user named Fubans admitted he created the site. According to him, the entire thing was a prank. He made the site to troll and creep out his friend as an inside joke. Every part of the site, including the fake diseases, glitching images, and Tyler messages, was a massive troll. Today, the original site is gone, but mirrors of it still exist, keeping the strange prank alive. This next mysterious website spelled its own name backward. 973 at namu973.com. You've probably seen strange website names before, but this website name is on another level. The name itself is a puzzle. When read backwards, it spells the human, and that's where the mystery begins. The homepage greets visitors with the words, "Amaze in Abracadabra." The other pages on the site don't make things clearer. There are pages with strange symbols. Another page displays religious passages mixed with numbers and calculations. Keep clicking and you'll stumble upon disturbing artwork like this. The site reportedly contains more than 9,000 pages, but no one could explain why it even existed. So the internet began to investigate. And soon they found out who made this website. This website was created by a man named David Dennison. David used to be famous.
In the 1970s, Dennison was one of the most popular surrealist painters in the United Kingdom.
After his art career, David became obsessed with numbers and religion. This obsession, people said, completely took over his being. He spent his days working through calculations based on strange words and text. Many were taken from the Bible and ancient philosophers. He was even obsessed with the number 9 and spelling words backwards. In 2003, David launched his ultimate creation, 973 at Namu973.com. For years, he kept adding new pages to the website, more puzzles, more religious texts, using math. In 2013, David Minison.
Running your business on the go just got easier with the QuickBooks mobile app. Be prepared for tax time. QuickBooks users have seen up to $6,000 in tax deductions. Even get
Passed away, but the website stayed alive. Before he passed, David handed control of the site to someone else. No one knows who. Under this mystery caretaker, the site grew even faster. Thousands of new pages appeared. Soon, a small but obsessive community formed around the site. There was even an online chat room where people tried to decode the meaning behind the weird pictures, codes, and calculations on the site. And one day, on August 3rd, 2018, a user named White Rabbit posted in the chat room. The post was titled, "I finally solved it." He said he spent at least 5 years studying the website, and that it took him a lot of hours to guide himself through the maze. But after all the work, White Rabbit claimed he finally understood the puzzles on the site, but he wouldn't reveal the answer. Why? He said what he discovered was dangerous, and that decoding it had strange side effects on his mind. Other users begged him to explain. He never responded. 7 years later, someone else in the chat room named Sherlock announced his own breakthrough. "I finally understand it. The answer is not what I expected." But like White Rabbit, Sherlock refused to share his solution. He insisted that everyone must find it on their own, but he didn't give him a clue. The answer isn't written directly on the website itself, but rather written through letters, numbers, and representations. From there, people got more obsessed with the site. One visitor described the site this way: "It's like a drug. Once you solve one part, your brain tells you to keep going." Some people I've been chatting with have lost touch with reality. Not me, though. "I stopped where I was supposed to stop. I warn you, decode at your own risk." Another wrote the site is evil. Some even claim the site caused hallucinations. Today, the website is still online. It has thousands of pages, and people are still going crazy trying to decode it. These sites aren't just about hidden secrets. They show something about human nature. We crave answers. We want meaning. But some rabbit holes go too deep. My friends, not every mystery needs solving. And the healthiest move is knowing when to stop. Visual Venture. Make sure you guys check out today's sponsor, War Thunder. Play for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile now by using my link below. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will get a massive bonus pack. If you guys like this video, we've covered plenty more strange websites, and some of them are really...
It's crazy, but that was actually picked up on Google Maps.
Even more chilling, faintly captured on satellite imagery from Google Maps, but no one had ever noticed it.
Google Earth satellite image of the word help in a Union Pacific lot. It's right here in LA.
Spanish police have made a breakthrough in a murder case thanks to an unusual informant, Google Maps.
People open Google Maps expecting streets and houses, but sometimes they find scenes so unsettling it shocks them to their core. Today, we'll dive into the strangest things found using Google Maps and Google Earth. We'll start with the strange ones and work our way to the truly disturbing. So my goal this year is to give you guys more videos without sacrificing quality, and to do that, we got to keep growing. It would mean the world to me if you subscribe, and I promise to do my very best to make the best videos I possibly can for you guys. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. The illegal plant operation. Imagine trying to hide a secret from the police. Then Google Maps exposes that same secret not only to the police, but to the entire world. That's what happened to Curtis Croft. In 2013, Curtis Croft lived in Grants Pass, Oregon. And he had a very unusual business. Curtis grew marijuana on his property, but he had legal permission to do it.
His property is a registered medical marijuana grow site for 5 people.
That license meant he could grow 30 plants total, no more than that. But Curtis got greedy. He wanted more money. So he planted more than the law allowed. Far more. Instead of growing 30, Curtis grew 94 plants, more than triple his limit. He lined them up neatly across his land. Then he made his biggest mistake. He bragged about it. Curtis went around town telling people how much pot he was growing. Sure, he had a license, but he was openly admitting he had way more than allowed. Before long, someone tipped off the police. When police got the tip, they didn't storm Curtis's property. They opened Google Earth and zoomed in on his property. From space, Curtis's farm was wide open. The plants were clear as day. Cops could even count them, and they were obviously more than 30. However, even after seeing this, the police still didn't arrest Curtis. They needed proof that the Google Map images were current, so they launched a flyover.
The Rogue Area Drug Enforcement team used Google Earth satellite images that led them to do a conventional flyover.
From above, the view was identical, row after row of illegal plants. And the whole time, Curtis had no idea the cops were watching. In September 2013, police finally raided his farm.
Authorities got a search warrant and seized 94 plants from his home.
Curtis was arrested. A week later, he appeared in court.
50-year-old Curtis Croft was arraigned last week in the Josephine County Circuit Court on charges of unlawful manufacture and sale of marijuana.
His final sentence was never reported, but his case made headlines everywhere. Now, if you look up Curtis's old address on Google Maps, you'll see nothing but an empty field. The plants are long gone. This next case made social media panic, and for a good reason. Help. In January 2025, a Twitter user zoomed into Los Angeles on Google Maps. What he saw didn't make sense. Someone arranged massive letters on the ground. They formed a single word, help. The help signs were so massive that Google Earth could see them from space. After seeing this, the Twitter user posted screenshots online. He thought the signs might be connected to trafficking or worse. Within hours, the post went viral. Thousands of people rushed to check the same spot on Google Maps. Zooming closer, they realized the sign was spelled out using building materials like pipes, sticks, and other pieces of scrap.
This is what people are talking about. These help signs that are, look at this one. This is a big help.
Ever seen a game where the more you die, the higher your drop rate gets? You spawn in the wilderness. No God.
Sign.
But help wasn't the only sign. Other words were spelled out too. Some were in Spanish, like Tráfico. Others in English, like Federal and LAPD. Location made it even scarier. The signs were near a shipping yard, and shipping containers are often linked to illegal activity. The more people looked, the stranger it got. Some claimed that they spotted what looked like a tunnel entrance. Others swore they could see ladders implying that something was hidden underground. Soon, reporters were asking questions too.
Is this migrants trying to reach out for help? Is there some sort of underground area in this section where they are being trafficked right now?
The internet was drowning in theories, but one man decided to find out the truth. A Twitter user called LA Guy refused to speculate. Since the strange help signs were in LA, he grabbed his camera and drove straight to the site. When he arrived, the scene was unsettling.
Okay, there's the help sign right there. The big help. I mean, I honestly don't know if this is just kids fooling around or something real.
On the ground, the letters looked enormous. Whoever made them spent serious time and effort. Then LA Guy noticed something worse. A dog was tied to a post nearby, shivering in the cold rain. He called out, hoping to find its owner.
Here, let's see if I can get someone's attention. Hello? Is anybody there? Anybody whose dog this is?
No one answered. He and the dog were alone in the dark. So LA Guy drove to a nearby homeless camp, hoping to ask about the signs and the dog. That's where he finally learned the truth. A woman living at the camp told him exactly who had made the signs.
A guy named Jose? He's writing those messages over there?
It wasn't a group of trapped people. It wasn't an underground crime ring. It was just one man named Jose. Then LA Guy asked why.
Why is he doing that, do you know?
She said Jose wrote those signs because he needed help. LA Guy shared his findings on social media, hoping the police would get involved. And they did. The LAPD Central Division responded directly to LA Guy's post. They confirmed that a homeless man named Jose made the signs. They also said they made several different contacts with Jose over the years, but he refused housing or a mental health evaluation.
Bro.
The cops also said there was no evidence of trafficking. Although there was no conspiracy, LA Guy still wanted to find and help Jose. A few days later, he returned to the lot. But this time, everything was gone.
I just spoke to the police officers, and this whole place has now been cleared out completely.
The massive signs that sparked panic were gone.
It looks like all the signs have been removed as well. It's just totally cleared out.
Now, if you search the location on Google Maps, all you'll see is an empty patch of land. And sadly, we don't know if Jose ever got the help. Up next is a story about ghosts, a mysterious island, and a little girl. The Haunted Island.
I'm Winsome Earl Sears, candidate for governor, and I sponsored this ad. Abigail Spamberger has zero.
On the edge of Mexico City, there's a very unusual island. From above, it looks peaceful. We'll look closer, and you'll see hundreds of strange objects hanging from trees. 6 years ago, a YouTuber named Micah discovered the place on Google Maps. When he zoomed in, he realized what those objects were.
There's an island that has doll parts hung up all over this little area.
The entire island was covered in dolls. Honestly, it looked nightmarish.
You know, just parts of dolls, and they're all kind of like messed up in different ways, or like muddy, or something pretty weird.
All this was the work of one man named Julian.
So just an insane person in the middle of Mexico City just lived on this little island by themselves and just started hanging these up everywhere.
So why did Julian cover an entire island with broken dolls? It all began with a tragedy that happened about 70 years ago. In the 1950s, Julian was on the island when he made a terrifying discovery.
He found the body of a girl at the entrance of this Chinampa. He tries to rescue her. Unfortunately, he's unable to.
Julian was devastated by what happened to the child. Days later, he spotted a doll floating near the same spot where the girl passed away. He believed it belonged to her, so he tied it to a tree as a tribute to her, to honor her memory. But after that, he said strange things started happening. Julian began hearing creepy noises, especially at night.
He said he was frightened at night. He said he also saw shadows. He heard strange noises. He could no longer be at ease in his own home.
Julian was convinced that the girl's spirit haunted the island. And for some reason, he believed the best way to appease the ghost was to hang more dolls around the island. So that's what he did. Over the next 50 years, Julian collected every broken doll he could find. He dug through garbage dumps in Mexico City. He traded crops for broken toys. He even picked up old dolls floating down the canal. But Julian didn't want the pretty dolls. He wanted the ugly ones, and he had a reason.
He believed that they frightened the girl's spirit. The uglier the dolls, the more they scare away the spirits.
Soon the island was covered in dolls with broken limbs, missing eyes, and cracked faces. Julian also lived in complete isolation. No wife, no children, just him and thousands of dolls. But this haunting story would end exactly where it began. In 2001, Julian's nephew visited the island to help him with chores. The two spent the day fishing in the same canal where Julian found the little girl decades earlier. But something strange happened that day. As they fished, Julian told his nephew that mermaids were calling him from the water. His nephew told him to be careful, but later that afternoon, his nephew found Julian floating face down in the exact same spot where the girl passed. After Julian passed, the island of dolls became a tourist attraction. But visitors began reporting strange things. They talked about the dolls moving their heads, arms, and opening their eyes. Visitors also claimed to have heard the dolls whispering to each other. Today, the island holds more than 4,000 dolls. It even set a weird world record: the world's largest collection of haunted dolls. This next case is about a city where 50,000 people vanished overnight. A nuclear city. If you search Pripyat on Google Maps today, you'll find a ghost city frozen in time. The streets are deserted, the houses are empty, the schools are abandoned.
Unbelievable. What's this, a classroom? Looks like a classroom, huh?
And in the middle of it all, a bright yellow Ferris wheel stands in an empty field.
Here we go. There's the famous Ferris wheel. It's pretty crazy.
But this place wasn't always like this. Back in the 1970s, Pripyat was a dream city. And then a tragedy occurred. In February 1970, the Soviet Union wanted to build a gigantic nuclear power plant. They picked an area in Ukraine for the project, but the nuclear workers needed somewhere to live. So they built a new city from scratch. They called it Pripyat. The city had modern apartments, great schools, and shopping malls.
Each building is hugely spaced out with these enormous green areas in between to give people space.
The average age of the people in the city were just 26. A brand new amusement park was set to open soon. The main attraction was a bright yellow Ferris wheel. but no one ever got to ride it. Remember, Pripyat was built because nuclear workers needed somewhere to live. Well, on April 26, 1986, something went terribly wrong at the nuclear plant near Pripyat. Around 1 a.m., workers at the nuclear plant began a routine safety test. They wanted to see if backup systems would work during a power failure, but something went wrong.
It was kind of a routine test, but it was conducted in such a way that routine test turned into a terrible accident.
Energy levels dropped too low. The team tried to fix it, but every move made things worse. Then the reactor exploded. The blast was devastating. Some workers lost their lives. The radiation that shot into the air was far more dangerous. And Pripyat, just a few miles away, had no idea what just happened. Workers from the nuclear plant understood how bad the accident was. Radiation in the air was lethal. But Soviet authorities didn't want the world to know the mistakes, so they stayed silent. $2.99. It's fancy without the pricey. Better yet, try it for free with any purchase in the Sonic app.
Hey, are you a little bit frustrated because you can't find the software to run your operation? Well, there's a solution for that. Build it yourself. It can be done. Click on the ad, and you learn.
Then for the next 36 hours, life went on. Weddings went forward. Children played in the streets. Babies were pushed around, all while invisible poison spread through the air. And people started getting sick. Some experienced severe headaches. Others woke.
Later, doctors checked my son and said that his radiation dose was 2 times above the adult norm.
Stated in the crowd. By 11 a.m. on April 27th, evacuation complete. 1,200 buses under the command of Soviet authorities evacuated the city in under 48 hours. Within 48 hours, nearly 50,000 people. Many thought the problem would be fixed so they could return. They never did. Pripyat became a ghost city. In 2011, officials opened Pripyat to tourists over the age of 18. They claimed the area was now safe to visit. Then in 2015, Google sent its Street View cars to drive through Pripyat. They filmed empty buildings, playgrounds, and the famous Ferris wheel. Today, on Google Maps, the city looks frozen in time. Like everyone stepped out for a moment and never came back. Up next is a village that was packed with something that was huge. The village of memories. Some YouTubers were exploring Japan through Google Maps. Then they came across a strange village hidden in the mountains. It was called Nagoro. At first, it looked like an ordinary countryside village. The streets, the more unsettling it became. People were everywhere. They sat on benches, leaned against walls, and stood outside small shops. But something wasn't right. Nobody moved, nobody breathed, nobody blinked. Then the truth became clear. These weren't real people. They were life-sized dolls. Hundreds of them. They dressed as farmers, students, and shopkeepers. Some dolls sat inside schools as if class just ended. Others waited at bus stops. In Nagoro, the dolls outnumbered the humans 10 to 1. But how did this village end up with more dolls than people? The reason was heartbreaking. In 2002, a woman named Tsukimi Ayano returned to her childhood home in Nagoro. Ayano spent most of her adult life in a big city, but when her father fell ill, she came back to take care of him. When she arrived, the village was nothing like she remembered. As a child, Ayano remembered 300 people living in the world. By the time she returned, only 30 people remained. Most left for the cities. Those who stayed behind were either old or deceased. No children had been born there in nearly 2 decades.
So a lot of people just kept moving out and leaving. But for the 30 left locals that still stayed here and were born here, they wanted to make us feel like it was still alive.
Ayano decided to stay with her dad. She started a small garden outside her house, but the birds kept eating her seeds. To protect her crops, she built a scarecrow. Instead of making a faceless figure, she made it look like her father. She even dressed it in his clothes. Neighbors passing by thought the scarecrow was her father. Some would sometimes say good morning to it. That's when Ayano had an idea. She realized she could bring back everyone who left the village. Not literally, but through scarecrows or dolls. Over the next few years, Ayano made dolls to represent those who once lived in the dolls for those who passed away. She built their bodies with wood and wire. there, stuffed them with newspapers and dressed them in old donated clothes. She even gave each doll a face, a name, and a place in the village. By 2019, she created more than 350 dolls. Nagoro started to look alive again, but in an unsettling way. Abandoned houses had doll families living inside them. Schools had doll students sitting at desks. Ayano wasn't doing this for fame. Her village was in the mountains of Japan, but thanks to Google Maps, the world eventually discovered Nagoro.
Oh my god. I've never seen anything like this.
By the early 2010s, Nagoro was visible on Google Maps Street View. It caught the world, but thanks to Google Maps, the world eventually discovered Nagoro.
Oh my god. I've never seen anything like this.
By the early 2010s, Nagoro was visible on Google Maps Street View. It caught the world's attention. In 2014,
Anything like this.
by the early 2010s, Nagoro was visible on Google Maps Street View. It caught the world's attention. In 2014, a German filmmaker visited the village and made a documentary called Valley of Dolls. Soon after, tourists began arriving. Vloggers wrote about it. YouTubers visited. The abandoned village was suddenly famous. Ayano became famous too. She started teaching doll-making workshops and even organized a festival so visitors could see the scarecrows up close.
On the first week of October, on a Sunday, they have a Scarecrow Festival, and it's all here. And a lot of people...
Get the QuickBooks mobile app. Simply snap photos of receipts, tap, and sort transactions automatically. Categorize business and personal transactions with a swipe. Take care of business with the QuickBooks mobile app, even on the go.
But it wasn't all fun. Nagoro was soon listed among the scariest places on Earth.
All the children scarecrows, though. Look at them all. I don't trust this place at night anymore.
And while tourists kept coming, the real problem only grew worse. The human population in Nagoro kept shrinking. The tourist visiting in 2023 described what they saw.
25 people in a 25. There's more scarecrows than people, obviously. There's only 25 people here left. Before, there was 30.
A sad end to a once vibrant town. Sometimes Google Maps doesn't just capture mysteries, it solves crimes. The man with the
There's only 25 people here left. Before, there was 30.
A sad end to a once vibrant town. Sometimes Google Maps doesn't just capture mysteries, it solves crimes. The man with the body bag. In October 2024, Google Street View captured two shocking images in a tiny Spanish village. The first showed a man pushing a wheelbarrow. Inside was a large white bundle, tightly wrapped and obviously heavy. There were no other people in sight. Just one man and the bundle he was moving. But the next image was even more suspicious. The same man was loading the white bundle into the truck of a red car. He was bent over, unaware that a passing Google camera was filming him. But why were these images such a big deal? Because this man was a suspect in a missing person case. And the police believed the missing person was inside that white bundle. To understand why, we need to start from the beginning. The missing man's name was Jorge Luis. Before disappearing, Jorge lived in Cuba. Reports say that he had a wife named Alicia who lived in Spain. However, in early 2023, Jorge moved to Spain to join his wife. But the reunion wasn't all smiles. When he arrived, he allegedly discovered that his Cuban wife was having an affair with her 48-year-old neighbor. His neighbor's name was Manuel. He was a bartender with a reputation for violence. Suddenly, Alicia was caught between two men, and she had to choose. The exact details are unclear, but according to police reports, Alicia and Manuel decided to end Jorge's life. It's not clear what triggered this decision, but most believe they wanted to continue their affair without him. Around October 2023, Alicia and Manuel took Jorge's life. Then Manuel stuffed the body into a sack, loaded it into a wheelbarrow, and rolled it down the quiet street. It was pure coincidence that Google was mapping the area that day.
That the Google Street View car just so happened to be driving through Tahueco for the first time in 15 years.
Afterward, Jorge's body was buried in a nearby cemetery. But Manuel and Alicia needed to cover their tracks, so they sent WhatsApp messages from Jorge's phone to his cousin. The texts claimed Jorge got a new girlfriend and was starting a new life with her. One message read, "I met someone. I'm staying here. Don't look for me." But Jorge's cousin smelled something fishy. first, Jorge stopped answering calls, and now these texts didn't sound like him at all. By November 2023, the cousin reported Jorge missing. As part of their investigation, police used cell phone triangulation to track the messages. They found that the texts came from the same area where Alicia resided. Police questioned Alicia, but she denied everything. With no body and no evidence, the case went cold. Nearly a year passed with no answers. Then in October 2024, police stumbled upon the Google Street View images.
Images show him stuffing what appears to be a body-shaped package wrapped in white plastic into the boot of a vehicle.
And that was enough to reopen the case. Police brought Manuel and Alicia in for questioning. Alicia eventually confessed. She admitted that she and Manuel ended Jorge's life together. Manuel, however, refused to confess. Weeks later, police located Jorge's remains.
The body of the unnamed 33-year-old Cuban victim, only referred to by the initials JLPO, was found in a nearby cemetery last week.
The investigation was finally over, but justice almost slipped away. If the Google Street View car hadn't passed that street at that exact moment, Jorge's disappearance would have remained a mystery forever. This next story also involves a missing person. The secret in the water. In October 2006, Davy Lee Niles left the bar after meeting a friend. He drove away into the night and was never seen again. His family searched everywhere.
There were posters. It made news. His face, the car.
But there was no trace of Niles or his car. After 5 years of searching, the family began to lose hope. In 2011, they published an obituary and held a memorial service. The obituary read, Niles Davy Lee, age 72, passed away and only God knows the time and place. It was understandable that they thought that he wasn't alive. Niles was 72 when he went missing. He also had a terminal illness and was struggling with depression. All hope was lost. Then Google Maps revealed where Niles had been all this time. In 2015, a funeral home worker in Michigan was decorating a massive Christmas tree. The tree was so tall he needed a lift to reach the top. From there, he looked down at a nearby pond and froze.
When he got to the top to put up the star, and noticed something below.
The water was dark, but from that height, the shape in the pond was unmistakable.
All of a sudden, it's like, whoa, there's a car out there.
He called the police. The next day, divers arrived. They dragged the vehicle out, coated in mud and rust.
No one could ever see it. It was murky and things moved around.
At first, officers thought it might be an abandoned vehicle, but when they opened the door, they found human remains. It didn't take long to figure out who it was. An ID inside the car confirmed it belonged to Davy Lee Niles.
They really do believe that this is Niles because it was his vehicle and they did find his identification in the vehicle.
After years of searching, the mystery was finally solved.
Niles' family came to the scene to see for themselves where he'd been all this time. At last, they say, relief. They finally have some answers.
Investigators couldn't determine exactly what happened that night, but they concluded it was likely an accident.
At this point, they have no reason, they say, to believe that foul play was involved at all.
After the discovery, people went back to Google Maps, and there it was.
The car he disappeared in, captured quietly on Google's satellite imaging.
Now everyone who looks up at that image realizes what they're seeing. A man trapped at the bottom of a lake. And that counts as one of the strangest and most tragic things ever caught on Google Maps. Google Maps is supposed to make the world easier to navigate, but sometimes it reveals how unsettling the world really is. It shows us that even from above, the darkest parts of humanity leave their mark. Visual Venture. So you guys just watched part 2 of the series because there is a part 1 that shows you the most disturbing mystery solved using Google Maps.
Tonight, a 22-year-old case of a missing man, one step closer now to being solved thanks to Google Maps.
The facts around this case are pretty bizarre.
Look closely. The image from Google Earth reveals a car submerged in the pond in Wellington, Florida.
You know, today, it's just unbelievable. You can get caught when you don't even know somebody's watching.
Google Maps has changed how we explore the world. Every month, over 1 billion people use it to get directions. But sometimes people see things on maps that can only be described as disturbing. Like this photo, which someone called the freakiest image on Google Maps. This picture looked like an army of zombies standing in a field. But the mystery was quickly solved when they realized that the army of zombies was actually a scarecrow art exhibition in Finland. This is just one of the many mysteries Google Maps has been involved in. Over the years, it's helped detect crimes, find missing people, and put criminals behind bars. Today, we'll explore the strangest mysteries solved with Google Maps and Google Earth, which is a slightly more advanced version of Maps. We'll start with the lighter stuff and end with the more disturbing cases. My name is Visual Venture. Hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead. The mystery of the mad mechanic. In June 2014, someone found a picture on Google Maps that was so disturbing, they decided to pick up the phone and tell the police about it. But what kind of image could send someone running to the cops?
Now, look down the road past that light blue car on the right. Move one step closer here and a man appears to be looming over another.
Looking at the image from a different angle paints a darker picture.
Let's get right next to them, and it appears the man in light red overalls is face down, spread-eagled. Drive past, and you can see the other man appears to have an axe in his hand.
They're going to say I'm some kind of religious psychopath.
Sorry, guys.
Imagine getting subscribers, money, and success on YouTube only to throw it all away by doing something stupid. These are the dumbest ways YouTubers destroyed their careers. We'll start with ridiculous cases, but they just get dumber as we go along. My goal is to continue to bring you guys more high-quality videos every week without sacrificing quality, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribe, so that way the channel can keep growing. And I promise to do my very best for you guys on Visual Venture, and you are amazing. Onision. There are so many YouTube videos about Onision, and none of them are positive. The bitter fall of Onision, the decay of YouTube's worst predator. Onision, the deranged man who made a YouTube cult. From vanity to insanity, Onision's story. And the list goes on and on, each title darker than the last. These videos aren't just a smear campaign. Every step in Onision's downfall came from the choices he made himself. Onision joined YouTube in 2006. Back then, there wasn't much competition. If you stood out, you could go viral. That's exactly what happened to Onision. In 2009, he posted a video titled Banana Song. It was basically him jumping around screaming in a banana suit.
What, Greg? I'm a banana. You're a what? You're close.
That goofy video did two things. It got millions of views, and it made Onision a YouTube star. From there, his channel became a mix of comedy skits, rants, and commentary videos. He passed 1 million subscribers. He had an audience. He had influence. But instead of protecting his success, Onision started making a series of horrible decisions. The first one involving something supernatural. In 2012, Onision published a disturbing book titled This Is Why I Hate You. The story followed a hateful young man's path to darkness. By the end, the main character snaps and takes the lives of innocent people. Most readers assumed it was pure fiction, but it wasn't. The About section, it says, Onision puts pieces of his own life in every book he writes. There is no book by Onision that does not have tremendous meaning to him. The characters, the environment, and events come from the heart, mind, and even at times life of the author. In other words, the story of a hateful young man was a glimpse into Onision's mind, a sign that something was wrong. Soon after, he took things further. Onision announced the creation of his own religion.
Hello, today I want to share some religious ideas with y'all. And a lot of people are going to judge me for it. A lot of people are going to be mad at me for it. They're going to say I'm starting a cult. They're going to say I'm some kind of religious psychopath.
He named his new religion Syseska. Others had a different name for it, a cult. Syseska had all these vague beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife. Another called it Onision's way of boosting his ego by attempting to have a ton of fans agree with his every word under the guise of a religion. But the most interesting observation was this. It's pretty clear he planned to use Syseska to lure in women. And that's exactly what happened. Onision made videos preaching about Syseska, and he invited viewers to join. Soon he had a group of women who saw him as a leader. But behind the scenes, life with Onision was nothing like they expected. It was toxic. By 2015, some of those followers began to speak out. Their allegations were disturbing. One woman said he made her shave her head as punishment for lying. He also allegedly pressured her to get a tattoo that said, "I'm a liar." Another said he isolated her off friends and manipulated her until she couldn't think straight. More women came forward, and the picture became clear. Suceska wasn't just a religion, it was a tool for Onision to control his followers. Drama channels and Reddit threads started discussing the situation. Onision was trending again, but now for the worst reasons. Instead of trying to repair his image, Onision escalated the fight. Onision made videos attacking the women who criticized him. He mocked them, called them liars, and refused to take responsibility. By 2019, the story was so big that investigative journalist Chris Hansen, host of To Catch a Predator, got involved.
Wherever you're headed, Discount Tire wants to get you there safely. That's why we created Treadwell. Treadwell shows you transparent test results on how tires really perform.
Let's get you taken care of.
Hansen began interviewing the women who accused Onision. They shared their stories in detail.
Good evening, everyone. Chris Hansen here. Welcome to Have a Seat with Chris Hansen as we continue our investigation into the YouTube streamer Onision.
In 2020, Hansen even went to Onision's house for his side of the story. But Onision called the cops, accusing Hansen of stalking.
Yes, they're knocking on my door.
Okay. And do you know if they have any weapons?
They have a bunch of camera people, like they're YouTube stalkers.
By refusing to speak with Hansen, Onision made himself look even more guilty. When other reporters reached out, Onision demanded $10,000 for an interview. It wasn't helping his case. Then in early 2021, Discovery Plus released a documentary called Onision in Real Life. The documentary compiled years of allegations against Onision. That same year, YouTube delivered the final blow. In January 2021, they demonetized Onision's channel. Someone commented, Onision is now finally deplatformed on YouTube. This means that Onision can no longer make an income off YouTube and people he hurt. The damage that Onision caused was rooted in control. That's how dangerous the internet can be when it's used to take advantage of people. But it's not only creators abusing power. Our own personal information is constantly being exploited too. So this actually happened to me. Some people found my private information online and threatened me with it. Because of that, I tried to remove my information from every shady website that had it, but there were just too many. So these data broker websites, basically, they sell your information to anyone who wants it. And what I can't wrap my head around is the fact that this is actually legal to do. But also, if you request to have your information taken down, they legally have to comply. That's where today's sponsor, Aura, can help. Aura scans through data broker websites to find out where your information is being sold. Within a few weeks, you'll notice less spam and people finally won't be able to search you up online. Aura also monitors the dark web and lets you know if your information is leaked there. And if someone tries to open a bank account in your name, they let you know right away. And in the worst case scenario, they give you up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. Aura also gives you a VPN, an antivirus, and password manager, which is very important to staying safe. Aura has helped me out a lot. If you guys want to give it a shot, click the link in the description or go to aura.com/BV to try 14 days for free. This would be enough time for Aura to find out if your private data.
Thank you for coming to the stream. We're done with the enchantment table room, and I'm kind of just tired right now, so we're just gonna clock out. Thank you for coming, for watching. Saw a lot of people in the stream today. I really appreciate that. It means a lot seeing even one person watch my stream. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, night, afternoon, whatever time zone you are in.